Hello, you speakers. I'm Katza.
I'm George.
And I'm Javier.
As a result of George's contribution to the last episode when we discussed the words that every day with a space between them, Javier suggested we did an episode with commonly confused English words. And here we are with this interesting episode. What do you think, guys?
Well, Katza, we just opened the door to an area that is one of the most interesting aspects of learning a language. If you really want to master it, commonly confused words or confusing words in English, which can lead to many aspects, such as similar sounding words, false cognates, the appropriacy of words, which we'll all dig in our following podcast. Today, we're going to see a portion of it, and I think it's going to be a very interesting podcast for everybody, even for some native speakers out there.
Believe it or not, yes, like George just said, even native speakers have problems with this. So, guys, I'm glad I thought of it.
We're so glad you did too, because I didn't know what we were going to talk about today.
Thank you, Javier.
Thank you, Javier, for your
Contribution.
Thank you for
contribution to this.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yes. So stay tuned. Today, you're learning 5 commonly confused words in English. Welcome to another episode of the You Speak English Podcast. Thank you for hitting that play button and subscribing to our podcast channel.
And remember, you can download the script for this podcast. The link is in the description box below.
I love George's voice. Doesn't it sound like a battery's not included? Yeah,
battery's not included.
I'm gonna start charging you guys more for this one.
Yeah, you should.
See your doctor.
Totally
this advice
commercialize
is good for you.
your voice. Yeah.
There you go. Totally. Most common mistakes advanced learners always make.
Always make.
Okay. My favorite, and I get this a lot. Good Lord. I've been teaching for more than 30 some odd years, and I still get this from when we get to go to companies. And tomorrow's Friday, right? And somebody will always say, yes, thanks God it's Friday.
No.
They'll add the S, third person, to the word thank God. Thank God. I'm such a patient person. I don't say anything about it. But it's so odd, guys. I mean, I can see one or two people say, but it's all across the board. I can see a lot of people in the upper intermediate level, they'll say, thanks God. No, guys, no. Funny. It's actually a contraction of we thank God it's Friday. So it's not, it can't be third person.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. It's a short form of we thank God it's Friday. So thank God it's Friday.
Yes.
Not you talking directly to God. Hey, thanks God it's Friday. Yeah.
Okay, so this would be like the huge exception for when you shouldn't avoid a subject next to a verb, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah.
It's okay to do that.
Yeah, it's called a short form. That's all. Yeah, but it's because of the expression is commonly used, we tend to shorten it out.
Yeah.
Like when we say like morning, we don't say good morning, but it's understood that you're saying good morning. Nobody's going to say like bad morning.
Bad morning.
Well, bad morning to you, neighbor. Hate those guys.
All right. I got one.
Okay. How about you guys?
Putting the word enough before an adjective or after a noun. Okay, so this is tricky. Because the first thing we have to learn to identify which are verbs and which are adjectives, right?
Right.
So, for example, with adjectives or descriptive words, we should say the house is enough spacious or the house is spacious enough. Okay, which one is correct?
Spacious enough.
Spacious enough, right? Spacious is an adjective, right? So remember, with adjectives, enough goes
at the end.
Next, at the end.
At the end? All right.
At the end. Okay.
Makes sense.
And with nouns, with things, we should say, I have money enough or I have enough money?
Enough money. Yeah.
Enough money, exactly. So with things, we have to use it before the other word. So
can I say I don't have enough money? Because that's my real sentence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds more
that's
realistic to me.
that's native to you.
Yeah, I can I can totally relate to
Let's keep
that.
this podcast cheerful, Javier.
There
Come
you go.
on.
Yeah, don't bring up some sad stories.
Okay.
Come
Well, okay, I'll take
All
it back.
right.
on. All
That's a
right,
good
what
one.
about you,
Well,
George?
Well, thanks to Javier and thanks to Katza. Now I'm going to talk about this one. It's a very common mistake. The difference between tell and say. We mentioned it before, but I still keep hearing it somewhere out there. And the thing is, in Spanish, these words are translated the same, decir. So this is what I've heard sometimes. I said to him, I said, sorry, I said him to call me. I said him to call me. It sounds weird, doesn't it? I said him to call me. So what do you guys think is the right one? I said him to call me or I told him to call me?
I told him to call me.
him.
Yeah.
Told him to call me. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Or I've heard this one too. They told to me. They told to me to go. They told to me to go? Does it sound right or wrong?
No.
Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do you think?
wrong.
What do you think? What do you guys think should be the right answer or the right way? They told to me or they told me?
They told me.
They told me, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, good.
No
So it's a
preposition
pretty
needed.
easy. Yeah, it's a pretty easy rule. Okay. So tell, after tell, you use a person. Okay. Tell in past or in future. Okay. You say, I told him, they told me, I told my boss told me. So
That's right.
after tell, there's always a person receiving the action. Okay. Receiving here the action of tell.
Right.
All right. Normally, when you say you can, but you would need the preposition to. Okay. And it's not very commonly used. I said to him. It's correct, but you would have to use a preposition to. I said to him or they said to me, which is not very common. It doesn't sound very natural. It's more natural if you hear the word tell or told in this situation. All right.
Interesting.
Okay.
Do you guys ever think about the why? What do you have any theory as to why? I have one. Early in the late 80s, when we started out, particularly George and I started out teaching, there was a song from Lionel Richie. It was called Say You, Say Me. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Say you, say me. And I noticed that that's when the mistakes started happening. You're like, yeah, well, he say me that I had to go to the doctor. Oh, no. Well, that song, guys, don't listen to that song. But it became a #1 hit. Fortunately.
With
but
grammar mistake in it and all.
There you go. So never mind that song.
Yeah, forget that song, guys.
Forget that song.
Yeah,
We're
don't
gonna
use
say
that song to
Don't use that
practice
song.
your English. Yes. All right, next section.
Next section.
Okay, cosas en español que no tenemos en inglés.
Ay, caray, caray. Ay, caray.
Ay, caray. Ay, caray.
Ay, caramba, like
Ay,
Bart said.
Caramba.
Caramba.
Is it like ay, caramba?
Ay, caramba. All right. I think there's a drink right there, the caramba drink. Well, anyway,
Wow.
caray is a very popular word in Mexico in Spanish, and it means wow. All right. There's no direct translation, but the equivalent would be wow. So for all you listeners out there, and if you ever want to say caray, se me olvidó, well, you can't say caray. I forgot. You say, okay, don't say it like that. Caray. Well, you would say wow or darn. I forgot. All
Is
right?
it because is it because of Mariah Carey?
I guess so. I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Javier? What do you got for us?
Ah, caray.
I have one that it took me forever to find out what it was because back in the early days we didn't have internet. I heard particularly people in upper part of companies when something went sour or things went south. Yeah, as we might say, they said se puso color de hormiga. And I was thought, well, I just know
complicated.
it literally it means it turned ant colored. like the color of an ant. So
yes.
I'm assuming that it turned black, which is something bad, which is not good. But they're red ants,
Yeah,
so, so which ant is it? Have you guys heard the expression?
Yes.
Color de hormiga.
Totally.
Yeah. So just like English and Spanish, We like to use idiomatic expressions or expressions that everybody uses. Pick up on them. They make language really beautiful, but you gotta understand that sometimes they're not translatable. They don't exist in the other language.
Would there be an equivalent in English?
Well, like I just mentioned, we could say like things went south. I heard people saying like, when we started a business, but things went south. I don't know why it went south. South is Mexico, and Mexico
Like
things
south
are
of-
South America. They went south. What's wrong with South?
Yeah, what are you trying
Argentina?
Do you mean Argentina? How far
Those
south?
guys, yeah, that's far.
How far south did it go?
Okay,
Wow.
okay.
Eduardo Amiga.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I got
so-
one. I got one. And this one I got because there's actually a word in British English that's the word bloody, right?
Oh, I love that word.
Yeah, bloody, but
Bloody.
it's not necessarily what we're talking about
No,
here.
it's not.
We don't have sangrón or sangrona. This term we use to refer to someone who's bit picky.
Picky,
What
pompous,
in American English we could
snobbish,
say like pompous, snobbish. And essentially it's a negative adjective, but in British English we do have the word bloody, but it's not
Oh, bloody
necessarily
hell.
a nice thing to say. So we don't
Actually,
use bloody.
this one, bloody was always an alternative to me to let out my rage when I was in
Yes.
high school. It just sounds cool. It doesn't sound so bad in American English. And
Totally.
it's still understandable. Yeah, but sangrón, that's completely different.
It is. Okay, to the main topic. We're going to share a list of 5 most commonly confused words in English. So let's get started.
Oh,
Yeah,
this will be good.
Let's get started. These can be very confusing words. So let me start off with a pair of them. Okay, they're very similar in sound, even in writing.
Yeah.
Okay, one of them is eminent, and the other one is imminent. The first one you spell EMINENT. And this means that it's something that somebody who's very important, somebody who stands out from the crowd. All right. Okay. I'll now give you an example in a while. For example, well, not in a while. Let's just do it right now. She is an eminent scientist. Javier is an eminent teacher. Katza is an eminent teacher, podcaster, and who knows what? Everything. Eminent and everything.
Can I say Eminem is an eminent rapper?
I think so.
All right. I like that.
And then we have the other word, which is very similar, imminent. This is spelled IMMINENT. And this means something is about to happen. Okay. So for example, the CEO's arrival is imminent. So get ready. All right. Okay.
Nice.
So you guys got it?
Nice.
Yeah, these are kind of, toughy words, right? Eminent and imminent.
Guys, if you didn't grab a notebook, go ahead and grab a notebook because you're gonna need to write these things down.
Yeah.
We're gonna be spelling them for you, and otherwise it's gonna be kind of hard to follow. So go ahead. I'll give you a minute. No, can't give you a minute. No. Sorry, we don't have enough time. All right. So the first word that I'm gonna use, actually, I get to use 3 words today.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have ensure, assure, and insure.
Are you sure?
Not anymore. Okay, the first one is ensure, ENSURE, which ensure basically means to make certain. I will ensure that this podcast gets sent out no later than next week. To make sure. That's not true, right? That's just a sentence. Assure means to reassure, like to make you feel sure. I reassure you that if you take down some notes, you will learn this much faster. I reassure you.
Yeah.
And the last one is insure, which means to arrange monetary compensation in case of unfortunate events. So in other words, to buy insurance. make sure to insure your car before the insurance expires, and you can assure that you can pay in case of an accident. Was that good?
Yeah.
And you know what, Javier? Now I get it. Now I totally get it. I've seen some I think there's some special milk for the elderly.
Yeah, the elderly.
And they're different brands, but one of the most common and famous ones out there in the market is Ensure.
Exactly.
So now I know what it means.
It's to ensure that you get all your vitamins and minerals.
Your vitamins and
Exactly.
nutrients.
It's guaranteeing that you get it.
Ensure,
Exactly.
Ensure, please sponsor us. Okay. Please get in touch with the office.
At least this episode.
At least this episode. Free plug, free plug. Okay. How about you, Katza?
Okay, I have one which is very difficult to identify in spoken English. I have advice and advice. Okay.
What?
Okay, that sounds good.
That's very difficult to. Yeah. Okay, there's just one letter differentiating these two words, and there's also one very big difference between them. They're completely different parts of speech. That's how we're going to identify them. Advice with a C. ADVICE. Advice is an uncountable noun. And it meaning information or guidance that someone or something gives you, it's like guidance, like orientation.
Orientation
right?
sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other one, advice, with an S, ADVISE. Advice is a verb, okay, meaning to give someone advice. Okay. So, for example, her teacher gave her excellent advice on how to improve her English. Okay. And
Nice.
the other example with advice as a verb is his dad advised him on many different outcomes on the matter. Okay. A tip to use these words differently is when you use the noun, you can actually throw in the phrase piece of advice. Then you can actually make a difference. So it's easier to understand.
So we can't say one advice.
No, we cannot.
You cannot say it's because non countable, like you said.
No, it's not like in Spanish.
That's some good advice,
Count
Katza.
advice.
Thanks for the advice.
Thanks for the advice. I will advise you about progress.
Us.
Katza, this reminded me of a couple of years ago. A student was telling me a story, and I just don't remember what the story was, but I do remember he said, and he advised me, but in this case, it didn't mean like he was giving some orientation. It was like what he was trying to say, he gave me some heads up. He
like a notification.
In Spanish.
Okay.
Because in Spanish, me avisó que no iba a haber clase. He advised me something. It went something along the line. He advised me there was no class the following day, and I said, "What? Oh, yeah, I get.
Yes.
Obviously, I speak Spanish, and I say, "Oh, do you mean no? You don't say advice. That means he gave me a heads up. He notified me. He let me know." Yeah, so it could be one of those false cognates.
Right. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So 2 words. Why do I get the hard ones, guys? Okay. So
because you're the master.
Yeah, you can do
master
this.
of disaster could be.
You're the national soccer team of this podcast.
No.
You can't fail us, George.
No. Don't jinx me, please.
Oh, come on.
All right. Okay, good. So we have these 2 words. They sound very much alike. Check them out. The first one is all together. And this is spelled all together. ALTOGETHER. No spaces. The second one.
1 L.
Yeah, 1 L.
And 1 L.
The second one is ALL space together. All together. All right. It doesn't make a big difference when you're having a conversation. All together and all together. Mostly is about the context and the situation you're using it. This could be a little bit problematic when you're writing. You say, which one do I use? The one with 1 L or the one with 2 L's and the space? All right. Well, let me give you the difference. Okay. People get these 2 mixed up all the time. All together, ALTOGETHER, is an adverb meaning completely or entirely. Altogether, And the other one, all, A-L-L, space, together, is a phrase meaning all in one place or all at once. Examples, okay? Number one, words that look and sound the same can be altogether confusing. Or if you can substitute the word altogether with completely or entirely, that's another way of distinguishing them. Okay, so you can say words that look and sound the same can be completely or entirely confusing. All right, so this one is that's how you use that one. Okay, remember altogether. Okay, so the other one, the one with the space, ALL, space, together. Okay, this is the example. All together now, follow my lead. Come on, 1, 2, 3. No, you're not moving, Javier. Come on, move that leg. So all together means all the people at the same time doing something together.
If I move my legs all together, they have to be all together at the same time?
Oh, you have two. I don't know, man. You have 2 left feet, so I'm not sure about that.
They're all together.
Are you sure you can?
I don't know about that.
So can you ensure that you can?
I don't think I can.
All right. Okay, good. So, yeah, that's how we are using these 2 words. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Last one.
I get to do complimentary and complimentary. Well, yeah, I get the easy ones, right?
Super easy ones.
Complimentary, COMPLEMENTARY, means describe something that combines to enhance something else. You might have a complimentary microphone to your screen. It adds to your setup.
Right.
Also means that it's something that is extra. Complimentary, COMPLIMENTARY. Wow, I feel like a spelling bee. It's something that we normally use to praise someone. Well, we say a compliment, like, George, you look very good with those new glasses. That's a nice compliment, isn't it?
That's a nice compliment.
There you go. So, but I won't charge him for this compliment, so it's a complimentary compliment.
I was just going to ask you that. So, for example, when I go to a hotel and it says complimentary drinks,
they're free.
Which one
also
is it? The one with the E or the one with the I?
It's with the I.
With the I.
Because the only way I can associate that, if it's a complimentary drink, it's sort of a praise to you. It's free. It's trying to make you feel good. The same way we use compliments. We say, "Hey, Casa, you look really nice with your new hairdo." And the cousin says, "Oh, thank you. It makes me feel nice."
Thank you.
And here's a complimentary drink for that compliment I just gave you.
That's right.
Okay. Kind of weird, right? But yes, advanced vocabulary. You asked for it. You asked for it. Now we'll
English
give it to
is crazy. English is
crazy. It is. Yeah, sometimes you can get bollocks.
Mind-boggling sometimes.
I assure you.
Yes, you will go crazy, but it's so much fun.
It's so much fun with it.
All right, let's wrap things up, guys.
No.
Yes, we have to go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so I assure you that let me try to put this. I assure you that if you write this down and start using it, you will ensure the progress of your level of English.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me add to that and give you a piece of advice. Please listen to all of our podcasts because you will learn lots. Things you have never learned before, you will learn them with us.
And results are imminent.
Oh yeah.
And you might just become an imminent English speaker.
Exactly.
Eminent. All right.
Eminent.
Oh, I see what you did there, Javier.
There you go. You try it, George.
Well, altogether, this podcast, I think, has been very successful. Thanks to everybody. Thanks especially to Casa and Javier, and especially thanks to our audience that every day we're getting more likes, more comments. So thank you for making this such a successful podcast, and we will continue working so you guys learn more.
And we'll do it all together.
Yeah.
And we'll do it all
All
together.
All together, right?
Exactly.
All together now. All together
together.
now. All
together.
together.
Okay, this is it for today. Thank you to all of our audience out there. And remember to subscribe to our channel. If you like this podcast, please share it with all your friends. You should also check out our YouTube channel where you can get the video version of this podcast. And of course, you are more than welcome to comment on our videos. You can also you can also visit our website where
see
you will
it.
find and see it and take a look. You can also visit our website where you will find articles about English practice and learning. And remember,
Perfect practice.
Makes perfect.
all right. Until
Yeah.
next time.
Next
Bye-bye.
time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.